Welcome to this tutorial on the PDR Professional auditing facility. By default, when PDR Professional is first installed, auditing is disabled. Now what this means is that all the actions that are occurring within the system are not recorded in the audit trail. So you don't have a way of finding out who did what change to the system. Okay, so by default it is disabled. Now what we're doing, first of all, we will select the test registry as usual, logging in as the system user with the system password. Now auditing is enabled and disabled via the settings screen. So we select configuration, settings, edit settings, and we will see here a checkbox called audit actions. Now as I say, by default that is switched off and no auditing occurs. If you enable that and press save, then any action that you carry out within the system, any update or change, is recorded in the audit trail. So, to demonstrate that there are no audits occurring currently, we'll select audit and view the audit trail, and we'll select everything, and there aren't any records in the audit trail. Now, to demonstrate that auditing is not occurring, I will find a document and I will select the top one, and I will change this classification from confidential to secret, and I'll perform an update. And as you can see here, that document was successfully updated. If I exit that and now look at the audit trail, so I go to view audit and I find everything, there are no records in the audit trail, which sort of indicates that auditing is currently disabled. So let's switch auditing on. The first thing, as I say, we're selecting settings, edit settings, audit actions is now on, produce the save, and OK. So any change that occurs within the system now will be recorded in the audit trail, which is very useful because there are times when we need to find out how a document changed or what change occurred to a document. We need to know who did that change and where that change occurred, and the audit trail enables us to do that. So let's do that update again. Let's edit a document, let's find any old document, pick the top one, and this time we'll change secret back to confidential, and we will perform an update. I'll exit out of there. And now when we go to audit and view the audit, if we view everything, we can see there's an entry made here in the audit system that an update to the document occurred, and that's the title or reference to the document, the primary reference, and this tells us what changed. The classification is the field that changed, and it changed from secret to confidential. It tells us here that the change was done by the PDR user system, and this is the date it was carried out. Okay, and if we double click the line, it will actually give us the date and time also, the timestamp of when that occurred. Okay, and view the full audit. This now gives us a complete breakdown of that change. It gives us the time and date it was carried out. It was the type of audit, the reference, the old value and the new value, the table that was affected, the field that was affected. But it also gives us more information on identifying the user who carried out the change. So it tells us the machine that user was actually logged onto when the change was made. It tells us the operating system name of that user, and it tells us the instance name of that user. The instance name being the instance name of the PDR instance that was running at that time, bearing in mind that every installation of a PDR program can have its own individual instance name. And then the PDR username, which is the name of the user within the PDR system. And obviously the user within the PDR system can be a different name to the user on the operating system. So this gives us a complete breakdown of that change. Okay, now the change, the audit trail, occurs at every level. So for instance, if we were to go to configuration reference keys, and let's say for instance we select media type and we add a new media type, and we type in cassette tape and we save that and update it, if we go to the audit trail and OK again, we can now see that we've added a reference key, media type, cassette tape, double click that, gives us the time, view the full audits, and this time it's giving us the reference key. Obviously there isn't any document information this time because we weren't affecting a document, but we were affecting the table name lookups, and it's giving us the detail here. Okay, and we can go to the first audit, to the next audit. We can skip through audits here, go to the first and last, etc. So that's a great way of recording information and changes. Now, for instance, if we were to do another example, a bulk update, and we were to, let's say we wanted to move all of the AWC documents, and we select all those, and we wanted to move those to ops, for instance, 32 updates, we record that. Okay. If we now go into the audit system, that gives us all the changes. So this gives us every change, that all those 32 updates are recorded in here. So that update tells us, for instance, the location of that document was changed from AWC to ops, and that's the same for all of these. And again, we can go to the first one, and we can go previous, and whatever, we can just skip to next and go through all of these document changes that occurred. Okay, so it's a great way of finding out who did what within the system, and that's the auditing system.